Please like and subscribe. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This story will make you curious 100%. I was 10 years old when Grandma came to live with us. It was 6 months after Granddad passed away, and I suppose she must have been lonely in that big house of theirs, rattling around with only grief and memories for company. Mum wasn't thrilled, but my parents took her in. I was thrilled. Grandma was fun, loud, and always slipping me boiled sweets. She defended me when I got into trouble, and she had the best stories. She told stories about growing up during World War II, about being evacuated to the South Coast, about friends and adventures. Funny ones, sad ones, all kinds. But the ones I loved most were the scary ones. She claimed she had dabbled in the occult as a teenager. Ouija boards, tarot, fortune-telling. Most of her tales I laughed off or forgot, but a few unsettled me. One in particular carved itself into my memory. The story of the shower and Mr. Longfingers. It started the night I asked why she loved baths so much. She'd light candles and incense, hum to herself in the tub for ages until the water turned cold. Mum hated it, but Grandma said the bath was the only place she felt safe enough to relax. You know, people like me, sensitive people, have to have baths, she said, serious. Showers are risky. Too risky. She leaned close, her blue eyes glowing in the dark. I shivered in delight, knowing it was story time. Why are showers risky? I asked. She paused, staring out the window, letting silence build. It's only dangerous if you close your eyes. 10 seconds is the limit. Longer than that. Her words slowed, heavy. Well, do you know that playground game where someone turns their back and the others sneak up while they're not looking? I nodded. That's what it's like in the shower when you close your eyes. That's what it's like with Mr. Longfingers. My heart picked up. Who's he? No one knows for sure, she whispered. Some say he's a creature drawn to the heat and smell of us in there. Others think he slips into our world through the steam. But the only people who've seen him aren't able to tell the tale. Why not? I asked. She leaned closer, her breath smelling of sweets. Don't worry, sweetheart. As long as you follow the rules, you'll be safe. What rules? Don't close your eyes too long. 5 seconds is fine. 10 is pushing it. But 15, that's when you'll feel him there, watching. And if you ever go past that, you might hear him too. Hear what? The tap, tap, tap of his fingers on the glass. If you ever hear it, promise me one thing. What? Promise me you'll never open your eyes. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined a face pressed against my window. When I did sleep, I dreamed of long fingers brushing against my skin. Showers became unbearable. Shampoo burned my eyes because I'd opened them too quickly, terrified to reach 10 seconds. Behind my eyelids, the rushing water and red-black darkness felt like a held breath before a scream. I'd sometimes open them before I was rinsed clean, just to check through the steam glass door that I was still alone. It wasn't long before Mum noticed. She heard me crying out in my sleep and came to comfort me. When I told her about Mr. Longfingers, she was furious with Grandma. That night, I heard her hissing through the wall to Dad. She's told him there's a monster in the shower. He's been having nightmares for a week. You'd better say something to her, Simon. Tomorrow, the next evening, Grandma came to my room. She didn't tell a story. She just sat on the edge of my bed, looking sad. Moonlight lit her face, silvering her wrinkles. You know, I'd never let anything bad happen to you, don't you? She asked. I nodded. You know, I wouldn't let you come to harm. I nodded again. She smiled faintly. Good. The things I tell you are meant to protect you. Maybe your mom's right. Maybe I went too far. But I'll fix it. She looked out the window, then back at me. I'll scare him off myself. Mr. Longfingers won't dare come back after he's faced me. I nodded again, and though I was only 10, I knew her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. I was the one who found her. It happened a week later, on a gray, rain-soaked morning. I woke from another nightmare, the same one where I felt fingers brushing my face and heard the sound of water running. At first, I thought it was just Dad shaving, but the sound didn't stop. It grew louder, the shower, an icy dread spread through me. I slipped from bed and padded barefoot down the hallway. The closer I got, the more the air thickened with heat and steam, pressing damp against my skin. I knocked on the door. Grandma? No reply. I tried again, louder. Nothing but the endless hiss of water. The handle was wet when I touched it, not just damp, slick, almost as if someone had run their hand down it moments before. The door creaked open, and a billow of steam poured out. My throat caught, and my skin prickled with goose flesh. I stepped inside. Through the fog, I saw her. Grandma lay collapsed in the shower cubicle, her thin nightdress clinging to her body. The water sprayed relentlessly down, soaking her silver hair flat against her skull. Her eyes were wide open, blue and glassy. One hand was curled against her chest, the other smeared trails across the fogged glass, her nails leaving streaks that still dripped with condensation. And then, God help me, I thought I saw shapes behind those marks. Not random streaks, lines, 5 of them, thin, long, pressed from the outside. I screamed until Dad came thundering down the hall. He pulled me back, shouting for Mum to call an ambulance. Chaos filled the house, voices, rushing feet, the wail of sirens. Later, Dad told me it was a heart attack, quick, painless. She didn't suffer, he said. But I knew. Even at 10 years old, I knew. That night, while everyone else slept, I crept back into the bathroom. The shower was dry now, the glass faintly misted in the cool night air. And there, on the outside of the cubicle, were streaks no one could explain. 5 impossibly long finger marks, trailing downward, ending in little hook-like curves. Decades have passed, but the memory hasn't faded. If anything, it's sharpened like a scar that never quite healed. For years, I told myself the marks on the glass were tricks of condensation, the ramblings of a frightened child's imagination. That's what therapists said too, when my parents sent me for grief counseling. But no matter how much I tried to rationalize, I couldn't shake the feeling that something else had been in the bathroom that morning. I live with it still. I haven't taken a shower in 30 years. My wife used to tease me about it. What kind of grown man is afraid of a little running water? She'd laugh, but she doesn't laugh anymore. Not since the night she woke to find me sitting bolt upright in bed, drenched in sweat, whispering, "Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes." She told me later I'd been rocking, as though trying to block out a sound. And the truth is, I had been. Because sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I still hear it. Not always in the bathroom, sometimes in the kitchen, sometimes against the frosted window above the sink. Always soft, patient, steady. Tap, tap, tap. I tried to tell myself it was pipes cooling or branches scratching the glass. But branches don't move in rhythm, and pipes don't stop the second I turn my head. My children have felt it too, though I never meant to involve them. Kids sense what we carry, even if we never speak it aloud. My eldest was the first. He came home from a sleepover, pale as paper. His friends had dared him to close his eyes in the shower and count to 20. He only made it to 12. At first he said nothing, but that night he came to me, voice shaking, and whispered, "Dad, I heard it. He's real." When I asked what he heard, he just shook his head and cried. Later, he admitted there had been tapping, not on the shower glass, but on the bathroom mirror, from the inside. Since then, things have worsened. Sometimes my daughter leaves her dolls in the bathroom. Twice now, we've found them rearranged, lined up in front of the shower door, their plastic faces turned toward the drain. My wife swears it's a prank by the kids, but I've seen their faces when they find them. They look as frightened as I feel. And it's not just the dolls. Condensation lingers in our bathroom longer than it should. I'll wipe the mirror clean, only to find, minutes later, thin streaks forming down the glass. Too long, too straight, like fingers dragged slowly, deliberately. My wife says I'm passing on my fears, infecting the kids with trauma I never healed. Maybe she's right, but trauma doesn't leave new marks in empty rooms. Trauma doesn't make the air heavier or leave that faint metallic smell in the steam. The smell of wet coins and old rust. The smell that was in Grandma's bathroom the day she died. Last month, I was walking past the bathroom when I froze. The water wasn't running. The lights were off, but through the door, faint and unmistakable, I heard it. The tap noise. I pressed my ear to the wood, holding my breath. The tapping grew louder, more insistent, until it sounded like fingernails raking the inside of the door. And then, very faintly, I heard a whisper. Not words. Just the dry rasp of breath through something too thin and too long. I stumbled back, heart hammering, and nearly collided with my son. He stood pale in the hallway, staring at the door. He had heard it too. He looked at me the way I once looked at Grandma, pleading, desperate for reassurance. But I had nothing to give, because I finally understand. Grandma wasn't telling me a story. She was warning me. And when she said she would scare him off herself, she wasn't being dramatic. She meant it. She went into the shower to face him, to bargain, maybe, to protect me. And she failed. To be continued.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video for more.